Sri Lakshmi Nandini, I sent you another link. Please log in with that link.
Sure, ma'am.
So I'm not doing that changing status to active. Okay, so we'll do that later. Okay, let me show you by logging in. So today we'll see how to create the DCM by copying the existing one. Okay, how to create the DCM by copying the existing one. See here. You can go to favorites, article 4.6. So we can copy either from the glib or from the another study. While copying, okay, so we can choose that one. After copy, the copied one will be anyway with the status provisional. So we can make whatever the changes that you want. OPS dollar guest one, guest zero, two, right, OPA EV. So go to definition, DCMs, DCMs. So from the drop down, you can select your study. I'm going with your study, influence. So DCM name, so we already did few, right? I'll just explore them. Execute query. Two we have done. Okay. I'll show you one more time this. Edit layout. Okay. For the demographic side. So I'm just going to copy the link and generate that PSUP. No need to know the flow and all for this PSUP. Okay. Not required. It is started now.
Why do we run the PSUB, ma'am?
Without PSUP, this job is not going to work. Whenever you generate the layout or whenever you have the batch submission like this. Um, See here, that is a batch submission, batch validation, executing procedures.
So before generating the layout, we need to run the PCUB.
In this one, you need to run, usually not required. Okay,
Oh,
that's the reason you got struck yesterday in the
oh
morning.
no,
Yeah.
ma'am, it got disconnected.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So usually, without executing that PSUP, if you run this, if you run DCM, okay, if you go to special generate layout, what happens? The system will get stuck. It will just keep on saying, this is generating, this is generating, this is generating. It will occupy the system. It will not let you to even move further.
Okay, yeah.
So every system startup you need to do, not for every program. Okay. That means not every whenever you run, whenever you execute the, whenever you generate the layout, it's not required. But every system startup, it is required.
And will you show me once again how to run that?
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
I will show you. Yeah. So we have steps, Devi, on the desktop. Actually, no need to know this flow. Okay, for the practice purpose. Okay, if you want to run that, you have clear steps on my desktop. If you open application details, you can see from here to here, you can follow. Then PSUP job will be executed. Go to desktop, open application details, and follow these steps.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah, thank.
If you want me to show, I'll show, no problem. Go to start, run, services.msc. It's already there. Click on OK. So here you just need to type P so that it will show you all the programs starting with P, PSUB. Open it. Whatever the link that you copy here. So paste it in this link. Paste it in the parameter, start parameter. As it is already started, it is not showing here. Start parameters. Just enter the, like, paste that link in the start parameters and submit. Okay. Do not click on OK. Click on start. Now, so I'm going to delete this vitals. I'm going to generate the layout for the demographics. And even I'm going to delete the smoking history. I don't want to collect this here. I was just showing example there that time. How to add more than one question group. Delete. Yes. Save. Now I have to generate the layout. So special generating layout. Default layout. Now it is generated. Okay, how do we know it is generated? You see the message line. Transaction complete. 2 records supplied and saved. Okay, now I'm going to edit the layout.
I do have doubt, ma'am. Can I ask, ma'am?
Yeah.
In the DBJ, that is in the discrete value groups, we create subsets, right? So without
Mhm.
subset creation, we cannot assign to question. So
Right.
does the subset need to be blank, or does it need to have any data in it?
Subset is just as good as copy of base DBG Devi.
Okay,
Will have data.
okay. So it's just for assigning them to questions. That's it, right? To create subset.
Devi, can you please repeat again?
So it's just we need to assign them to the question. So that's the reason why we create subset. That's it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. In case it depends upon the value definition, also we can define. That means,
Okay.
let's say, I
Okay.
have given the examples, right? Severity, let's say we have four values, but initially you just need to use only three values. Okay. Later stages of the study, you may need to use four values. Instead of creating again and again, like instead of creating two different DVGs, we can simply create one DVG, okay, and two subsets. One subset with three values, another subset with four values.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, ma'am. Yeah, thank you.
You will. Okay. Right. Adding label, click on D. So demographic information. Demographics. Okay. So I'm going to save this one and go to. I'm not even changing the status to active now because we have to test it. So what I'll do, I'll show you how to create the same DVG from another study because I don't have any DCMs in the grid. That's the reason I'm just going with another study. I'm going to show you that now. Go to special copy DCM. When you click on copy DCM, it will ask you which type of DCM, like from where to copy this DCM, whether to copy the DCM from library or from study. So which type of DCM to copy from glib or from the study? If you select library, if you go to query, execute query, It will show you all the DCMs in the library. So, but I don't have any appropriate DCM from here. So only two active DCMs are there. One is AE, other one is Deepak test. Okay, I don't want to go with this one and this one. So what I'll do, I'll go with the study only. Go to special, copy DCM. Now this time we select the study. Okay. We select the study from which study that you want to copy. Okay. So I will choose gastric ulcer. Okay. So go to query. If you select the study, it will ask you to query for the DCMs. Go to query, execute the query. You can see AE, demo underscore DCM, pregnancy info, active. It should be active, Likita. Not study. And I understand your question, but you mentioned study. It should be the active status of the DCM. Okay, but once you copy, you see it's showing all active. Now I can pick any of these. I'm selecting vital signs. So say OK. In case, before you say OK, if you want to check for the question groups, what question groups that you have, what questions that you have, whether those are suitable for our study or not. So you can check all the questions, all the question groups, and you can decide whether to copy or not. Say, okay, I'm going to copy the vital signs. It is showing copy operation successful. Copy has been created. Okay, say okay. Copy has been created. Now you can see vitals created. Go to query, execute query. Again, go to query, execute query. So after creating copy, you just need to execute the query 2 times. First time, for the first time, it will not be displayed. So execute the query with 2 times. Okay, so now you see vitals is copied from the gastric ulcer study and showing the status provisional. There it was active, but once you copy this, it will be with the status provisional. Now you see the question groups also once. And questions also. If you don't want any questions, you can't delete, but what you can do, we can uncheck collect in subset, collect in study here. ECOG already selected, collect, unchecked, collect in subset. The vital signs date, height, weight, systolic, diastolic, pulse rate, body temperature, respiration, or the position. O2 saturation. Okay. So I'll go back. So this is how to copy the DCM from another study. Now, what about the layout? Do we need to generate the layout again? For that study, they might have already generated layout. So you can directly go to special, edit layout. If you generate layout, again you need to edit all the way the entire layout. You see, the layout is properly edited. In case if you want any modification, you can do. You can save it. Okay. I'm going to copy another one also now. I'm going to show you how to copy. Go to special, copy TCM. Okay. So go to special, copy TCM. So study. Now I'm going to copy another one. That is adverse effects. See, go to execute query, select adverse effect. If you want question groups and questions, you can check once and go back. Say okay. Copy operation successful. Copy has been created. Now you're back to your study influencer. So execute query. Again execute. Right. AE demographics vitals. You see AE created with status provisional. Once you check the questions, action taken with the study drug, adverse event term, ADVT, severity, start date, end date, report type, outcome, start date. Okay. So you remember we added one more question. That is other action taken. So I'm going to add that one. This one. Okay. Let's see. Another action is added here. Okay, start date is repetitive one. That's the reason unchecked here, you can see. Okay. Once you can see even layout also. If you do any modifications, you need to edit the layout. Okay, generate layout and edit layout. Adverse event severity, action taken with the drug, study drug. Adverse event term. Relatedness, start date, end date. So I'm going to keep the start date first, then start date. Right. I'm going to again copy another one. So copy, study, pregnancy, information. Go to special copy, execute query. Pregnancy information, say okay. Copy operation successful, copy has been created. Now if you can see, you have all of them here. Okay, so this is what the DCM creation. I'm going with DCI. So next we'll see what are all the steps to create the DCA. We have two methods to create DCM, but three methods to create the DCA. So DCA creation, these three you can see. So if you want, you can make a note of this one. Creating entirely new one. Second one, creating the DCA by copying the DCI from another window, another like study or glib, as we did for the DCM, same two steps. Entirely new one. And copying by another one. Okay, so by copying, creating the DCM by copying from another study or glib. So creating default DCA from DCM window. Okay, so three steps: creating entirely new one, creating DCI by copying the existing one, and creating by default DCI from DCM window itself. Last step, when we use, whenever you have only one DCI, one DCM, that means only one DCI, you're going to collect one DCM. So whenever you have one DCM in one DCA, we go for third step, creating default DCA from DCM window. Okay, I'll go with the application and will show you how to create entirely new one. See, I'll go to DCI window. In the same definition, DCI. So I'm going to create a new one. So demo, influenza, domain, short name. By default, it is taking. From the drop down, you can select the DCI type. Demographics. Is it the safety DCI? So this is not safety related. Whether you want to select the time, date already selected. That means while entering data for this particular DCI, it will ask you to select the date and time. Okay. So I'm going to select the time as well date, both. Help text if any required. Retirement reason, status comment. Okay, saving it. Then add logically related DCMs to DCI. Where there is a navigation button, use DCI modules. Yes, a DCM. From the drop down, you can select demographics, whatever the DCMs that you have for the study, all will be displayed here. Select. Okay, so no need to select any of these options. Just save the window. It is saved. Okay. So now the next step is changing the status to active, but I'm not going to do that one because later we'll do change status to active. Later we'll do the changing status to active. Okay, so now we'll see how to create the DCI execute query. Yeah, demo. How to create the DCI by copying the existing one, same as DCM. The procedure, same as DCM. Copy libDCI, copy study DCI. Okay, so copy study DCI, copy libDCI. Copy study DCI that I'm selecting, automatically it is routed to Gastroil server because as it is already selected by copying from demo, like copying the um, DCM from the study. Okay, so same study is showing here, same study showing here, and you just need to click on the change study in case if you want to move to other study. So anyway, we are copying from this. You can go to special. Okay. Execute query. Whatever the DCI is in that study, particular study, it will get. So you can see demo AE. Demo we already have. I'm going to copy vitals. So do you want to copy the modules also? Yes, yes. And you can see now you're back to influencer. Execute query. Vital signs demo. Okay. So what is the other step? The last method, creating. This is easy, easier than the other. So the last method, creating default DCI from the DCM window. Creating default DCI from the DCM window. You can see here. If I just go back to DCM, see, now we already have two DCIs, right? You already have two DCIs. One is demo, other one is vitals. Now we are going to create another two. Go to. Okay, first you need to explore all the Execute query. And you need to explore whatever the DCMs that you have in the study. 4 DCMs. 4 DCMs, right? Go to special. Go to special. Default DCI. Create default DCI. Okay, so create default DCI for adverse events that we are creating now. We selected AE and click on create default DCA. So it is copied. It's showing transaction complete to record applied and saved. So I'll just go back to DCIs and see there. Demo, we created entirely new one. Vitals, we copied from gastric ulcer. So this age, right? So this A, just now we copied from the DCM. Just now we created default DCI from DCM window. Okay, right? So these are all the 3 methods. One more remaining. What I'll do, I will even do that in the same method. Okay. So I'll go to. Okay, so this is fine. So we'll go to DCM, execute query. Let's say for pregnancy. Okay, for pregnancy we are creating, right? Go to special. Default, create default DCI. So select this one and say okay. It's already saved. Now you have influenza 4 records. 2 we created using third method, creating default DCI from DCM window. 1 we created entirely new one. So 1 we copied from other study, gastric ulcer. Okay, so with this we completed DCI and DCM, other than the last step, changing status to active. So now what we are doing, we are going to
చాలా మంది అంటారు వేరే క్లాస్ పెట్టుకుని వీళ్ళు
will do the testing. Okay. So this after testing, I'm going to move this to production mode and changing status to active. So I'll just show you one DCI for testing. Okay. So what we are testing, whether all the questions are there, whether we have the drop-down value showing proper. Okay. So testing we can do here, you see. Definition, testing, data entry. So first I'll enter the header part. Without entering header part, you cannot move further. Initial login. Okay. So document number not required, auto-generated. Status it is showing not complete. From the drop-down, you can select this one patient, X1. So these are not the patient that what we created, right? We created P1 to P20, but it is showing something else. So for the testing purpose, system will create X1 to X10. We can use them. Okay, so DCI name from the dropdown. Which DCI that you want to test? Demography. Okay, date, DCI date, some random date that I'm entering. Okay, so we can enter date here. 10. Time also we selected for the demography, if you can remember. Time also we selected 10:30. Now the event is actual event what we created, but site and investigator again dummy. Site and investigator again dummy. Then save the window. Invalid date. Right. Initial login, no need to enter the header part. Patient number from the dropdown. X1, dummy patients that we have. As and when we select the patient, dummy site, dummy investigator also will be pop up. Okay, so date. Here show some date, OCT in 2019. Right. So event 1, visit number 1, XDummy, XDummy. Save the record. So this is header part. Each and every CRM will have header. Okay, to collect this header, we'll go to initial login. First pass entry. A first pass entry, and you enter the patient number X1. You enter the header part. So we enter header part for the X1. We are entering the same first pass entry. It's X1. We selected X1. Execute query. Okay, so save and save the window. Execute query. That means enter the patient number, execute query, then save the window. Then you can have the data entry screen. It is showing form is undergoing. Changes. Next one, execute query. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll use demography. Showing error for this. Same X1 patient. DCA name demography. Time that you can enter. Again, it is showing invalidate. OCT. and even name from the drop down. So save the window, exit. X1, or we can directly go to execute query. See. Now save the window. Data entry form will be like this. This is influence only, right? We edited, it is not showing any editor layout. Maybe I didn't save that. So we'll see. In the next class, we'll see how to test from starting. Okay, we'll make all these DCMs perfect, then we'll test. So these are all the problems that you face while testing itself. Then you rectify all these problems, then move it to production mode. Okay, so in the next class, we'll see how to test and in real environment, how to enter, how to edit the data. So you can log off. See you Monday. Next class will be on Monday. See you.